Hi, so I'm gonna try to make this quick and simple and as painless as possible because this is kind of embarrassing. For my project, I decided to do a confession type video. So here's my confessions about how this class made me realize that my identity crisis is as bad as it seemed. So anyway, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm just kidding. I know this is class. um, but I don't even know where to begin. Should I begin to where I first um, had my issues with? I don't know. I'm gonna make this as raw as possible because I mean it is a confessions video. So I guess my identity crisis began with the fact that my name is not actually Karen Garcia. It's Maria Itzel Karina Garcia Fernandez. But my dad changed it to Karen Fatima Garcia to be more American. Yeah. Second, I wasn't born here. I was born in Mexico. I was born in Guadalajara, Jalisco, and I moved to the US when I was 5 years old. And I think this all these feelings started when I moved. For one, when we saw the video No Más Bebés, when they were talking about how, I mean, women were being taken advantage of because first of all they didn't know English and all that. So when I came here to the U.S. when I was 5 years old, I didn't know English, but I was put in the classroom, and when I was in class, my teacher had us play this game called Heads Up 7 Up. I had no idea what was going on. Not at all. So I saw my classmates like put their heads down, and I wasn't gonna put my head down. I didn't know what was happening. Um, but my teacher was like, I guess repeating this, and because I'm a 5 year old little girl who didn't know English, I didn't do anything. So I guess she got upset and she just slammed my head against the desk instead of coming to me and explaining things to me. Yeah, she did that. So I was vulnerable. Um, and because I didn't know the language, she thought it was okay to do that. Um, and then the same year, my mom forgot to, she was running late, and I forgot my mom. I thought my mom was, I thought my mom had forgotten about me, basically, in a country that it didn't know, in a school that seemed like it didn't even want me. So I was there crying, and my principal basically yelled at me and told me to shut up. Yeah. Uh, but all of that was okay, right? Because when I went back home to Mexico for some of the time, I felt wanted. Right? Wrong. um, when I would go back, my cousins would automatically identify me as the white person, um, la gringa, and all that stuff. And I'm here like, well, I'm not that white. I mean, I know my skin color is white, but my personality wasn't white. But apparently to them, I had an American accent, which was funny because here I had my my accent from Mexico, so it was kind of like that. Mm. And yeah, it all started from all that. And I hadn't put the pieces together until we started talking about the poem I Am Joaquin. And then the line, I am Joaquin, lost in a world of confusion. Well, isn't that true? But there was a specific line that actually got to me in a country that wiped out all my history. It seems like when I came here, everything that I've known when I was little from Mexico just seemed to go out the door. People seem to forget that, and it just made me feel like I didn't belong in Mexico. And when I came here, it just seems like I didn't belong or people didn't want me to belong here. Um, and it sucks because it's kind of like, well, where do I feel wanted, or if I feel wanted in general. Um, there was one incident in middle school where I honestly never thought I would experience racism the way other people experience racism because my skin is white. Um, so I figured, oh, I wouldn't, you know. Um, and then when I would talk about these certain issues with my family about how like I would defend other people if certain things like that would happen. But my family would be like, no, you have no right to speak on stuff like that because you're white, you're white, you're white, you're white. And I'm like, but I'm still Mexican, you know? It still affects me. It hurts when I hear people that I care about get told all these racist things like comments and yada, yada, yada. Um, but it made me realize that, I mean, it does happen. So in middle school, I was still new. I mean, I moved from California to Texas, so it was another different kind of move, and I thought it'd be different. No. Once I got there, I was in the cafeteria, and along with some of the like my peers that were showing me around, and this girl that was in one of our classrooms, she said, "Oh, you're new, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm new. Um, what's up?" She goes, "Oh, nobody likes you. You should go back to where you came from." And I'm like, well, okay, let me just poof myself out. And honestly, it shouldn't have affected me because she was a lot smaller than me. All I had to do was just like stomp on her or just like kick her. But I was in eighth grade, man. Not eighth grade, I was in seventh grade. It did not click. Um, but yes, and it sucked because now it just reminded me of, even if I am a citizen here, I mean, I could still get treated that way, you know? And it reminded me of when we saw the 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 play Detained by the Desert. In no way is my experience close to as horrible as other experiences. So I cannot relate to that, but it kind of reminded me of when the cop was telling the girl, you need your papers. Like, where are your papers? I need to see your papers because if you're a citizen, then you need papers, right? Well, she was a citizen. She didn't have to prove anything. Um, she felt unwanted in her own country. So I kind of like, oh shit, sorry, oh snap. That's that, you know, it's kind of relatable, but I know there are other people that have it much worse because there are people who have lived here their whole entire lives and they get sent to a place where they don't even know the language, the customs, you know, all that. So, um, it was kind of that play was hard. And I do know a lot of people who actually go through that. And you really don't know how to react when it comes to things like that, you know? So, even when I would go back to Mexico, I would feel very unwanted. Um, because even if I try to relate to my family, um, I still get a little pushed back. Even though I have grown up with the same culture, same stuff, you know, I was taught about La Llorona as well when we were little kids. I was there with my family, with my cousins, uh, because they told us, hey, if you misbehave, La Llorona's gonna come get you. El, ay, mis hijos, yell. If you hear it, run. Or behave, don't go near water. So, and honestly, it just seems so sad and it sucked because if I wasn't one thing over there and I'm not one thing here, then I don't know what I am. It just sucked me trying to reach out and reconnect with my culture and being rejected for it. And then coming here and seeing that my people were being mistreated. Um, and it it sucked. So that was basically my whole entire life, going back and forth, seeing the ugly in both situations. So yeah, those are my confessions or my little vents. It should actually be called the Diaries of a Mexican American Chica, not the confessions, because I feel like that was just a diary. But yeah, thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe. I'm just kidding.